What's going on, college football fans? And you already know all of the Miami Hurricanes fans. And welcome to today's preview video, the Miami Hurricanes versus the Florida State Seminoles. These two teams are facing off this Saturday, November 2nd at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time on ABC at Doak Campbell Stadium. Now, before we dive into this preview video, if you are a fan of college football, I don't care if it's a Miami fan or a Florida State fan, college football in general, make sure you click that subscribe button down below. It's 100% free, doesn't cost you a thing. Also, there's a join button to the left or the right of that subscribe button if you're an Android or PC user. That's a way to join up and become a member of the Canes fam. You get a U by your name, and you get some cool little emotes you can use during live streams. Apple users, you got to go down to the description. There's a link down there for you guys. Also, this game will be on ABC. If you don't have cable or satellite or this over-the-air antenna stuff or a streaming service, your boy Coops got you. They call me the link man for a reason. All you got to do is show up during the live hangout on Saturday for this game, and I will have links, as always, down in the description. So I've got you. And you already know what it is. It's rivalry week, and that means you can take those 4-4 records and throw them out the window, because when FSU and Miami meet up and play each other, things get heated. And that also means that things get heated between the fan bases. So let the trash talk begin. I'm telling you, you're going to have to calm me down so we can get through this preview video before I start throwing things and flipping stuff. So let's talk for a minute. A big thing for Miami coming into this game. The Canes have DJ Dallas, Michael Pickney, and Jeff Thomas back. As you all know, DJ Dallas and Michael Pickney coming off of the injuries, and Jeff Thomas is back after the 2-game suspension. So let's talk history between these two teams. And is there some history? One of the most heated rivalries in all of college football. And listen, I know, but Coop, listen, this rivalry is one of the most heated rivalries in all of college football. The Miami Hurricanes and Florida State have faced off 63 times in total, with Miami leading that series 33-30. And after ending that 7-game losing streak to FSU in 2017, the Miami Hurricanes have won the last 2 matchups. Now, both fan bases can just be real here for a minute. Both Miami and FSU are struggling this season, coming into this game at 4-4. So is it time for Willie Taggart to get his first win against the Canes, which would be huge for this FSU program? Or is it time for Miami to extend that win streak to 3 games in a row? So you know what? I think we're going to go ahead and talk numbers. Let's talk stats for both of these teams. Now, again, your boy Coop is trying with the Photoshop. I'm trying to get better every week, so I'm going to put a little graphic image up on the screen here so you've got something visual to look at. So average points per game coming into this matchup, FSU is averaging 29, Miami 27. Also keep in mind, I don't do the 0.2 and 0.7 stuff. I round it up or down respectively. So points allowed against them per game, FSU is coming in at 29, Miami at 19. Average yards per game, FSU 417, Miami 384. Average yards allowed against them per game, FSU 444, Miami 301. Now, what stands out the most to me when looking at these stats, and listen, I get it, I'm a Miami fan, so Coop, of course, you're going to point out the FSU one. I'm just saying, it's glaringly obvious here. The 444 yards allowed against them per game for FSU. That's a lot of yards. Now, a big question for both of these teams coming into this matchup is who gets the start at quarterback. For FSU, Hornibrook got the start against Syracuse, and the Seminoles got the dub. For Miami, Perry started against Pitt, but struggled, so he was benched, and Williams was put in. They ended up getting the dub. At the time of filming this video, no announcements have been made, and I get it. It makes sense. They'll probably make announcements on Thursday or Friday, a day or two before. I get it. For me, I think that for FSU, this is just a guess. I think Hornibrook will get the start. And for Miami, I think Jaron Williams will get the start. So let's go ahead and transition over to keys to a Florida State victory in this game. Now, I want you guys to keep in mind that there are many more keys to a victory in this game for FSU than just 3. But what I have to do is I make a list of, honestly, probably 10 or 15 of them, and I narrow it down to 3. So I always have people tell me in the comment section, Coop, this is more important. Coop, this is more important. Please put them down there in the comment section. But I just picked 3 that I feel like are pretty important. So number 1 for Florida State, and I know this is an obvious one, but feed Cam Akers the ball. He rushed for 144 yards on 20 attempts against Syracuse, which averages out to a little over 7 yards per carry. FSU also used Akers in the Wildcat against Syracuse last week, and I'm going to be honest, it was pretty darn successful. So whether it be passing the ball to him, handing the ball to him, or a direct snap to Akers, you need to get him the ball. Number 2, we all know that things tend to get a little bit chippy in this game, in Miami versus FSU. Coming into this matchup, FSU ranks 124th in average penalties per game. That's not good. They must play disciplined football against Miami. A big penalty or 2 late in the game, especially if it's a close one, could really cost you. And lastly, can we all just be honest here for a second, FSU fans and Miami fans, because it's going to be mostly the 2 fan bases watching this preview video. Miami has struggled with this too. You guys really haven't packed Doak Campbell Stadium so far this season. And listen, like I said, I get it. Miami has not really packed Hard Rock either, but I'm just saying this is at your stadium. However, I have a feeling that Doak Campbell is going to be jam-packed in this game, and I get it. I use this one a lot, but FSU, use the crowd to your advantage. It's going to get loud. So let's take a look at keys to a Miami victory in this game. Number 1, if Miami kicks any field goals in this game, they have to make it. Let's take a trip back in time and take a look at the final scores from some of the previous Miami versus FSU matchups. 2018, 28-27. 2017, 24-20. 2016, 20-19. 2015, 29-24. You get the point. The last few matchups between these 2 teams have been very close final scores, and as Miami fans know, Miami has had some really serious kicking problems so far this season. If at any point Miami has to settle for a field goal in this game, it will have to be good. No questions. Number 2, I really think that Miami should focus on attacking FSU through the air. Coming into this game, FSU is allowing an average of 275 passing yards against them per game. That ranks 108th in the country. And yes, I get it. Miami's offensive line has been struggling so far this season. But maybe if we could draw up some quick pass plays, or if we could afford to send our tight ends downfield for a couple of plays, let's do it. Let's attack FSU where they are weak. And lastly, and quite possibly the most important, Miami's third down efficiency will have to be better. 2 of 14 in their last game against Pitt. The Canes are averaging just around 3 third down conversions per game. That ranks 129th in the country, and just in case you forgot, that's out of 130. And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and include the red zone offense kind of all together in this, because the play calling has been super questionable in the red zone, and we cannot afford to have bad red zone play calling against Florida State. We have got to be putting 7 points on the board. We need touchdowns when we're fighting against FSU. So by now, everybody knows what's next. Coop's score prediction. But before I get into that, I want to let you know that later this week I have a big video coming up where I interview a Florida State fan. Now listen, to give you some backstory, I have worked beside this Florida State fan for over 7 years. He's drove me absolutely nuts. Every time he sees me driving by on his little forklift, he does his little stupid chop thing every single time. And he's always talking so much smack. But these last few years, he's disappeared. But he's decided to show his face again this season, and he allowed me to interview him. And I got to tell you, things are going to get interesting. So I'm just going to give you a heads up to keep an eye out for that. Now, you know, before I'm going to give my score prediction, I'm going to mention the completely pointless ESPN matchup predictor. They have FSU's win percentage chance coming in at 62.2% and Miami coming in at 37.8%. So they do have Miami as an underdog in this game, and rightfully so. It makes sense. Two struggling teams, but it's at Doak Campbell. FSU appears to be getting a little bit better, so it makes sense, right? But what's Coop's score prediction for this game? All right. I've got FSU scoring 20 points. And I have Miami coming out on top with 24. So the Miami Hurricanes getting out of Doak Campbell Stadium with a dub, 24-20. Now I know that some of y'all wanted me to predict a Miami loss in this game because the two losses I predicted this season ended up being victories. And some of you superstitious people are thinking, Coop, but listen. I don't care what our record is. I don't care how down we are. One thing we are not doing anymore is losing to the FSU Seminoles. It ain't happening. So listen, I ain't worried about having to eat another score prediction because I'm going to be right. I'm not saying I'm going to be spot on with the numbers, okay? But I'm saying Miami is going to win this football game. But quick disclaimer, I will say that Miami has to contain Cam Akers in this game or things might not look too good for us, all right? I'm just being real with the Miami fans because Cam Akers is a beast. But listen, we got DJ Dallas back. Cameron Harris has been stepping up big. So Miami can take care of business in this game. Again, both teams coming in 4-4. Both teams are struggling. Willie Taggart's looking to get his first win against Miami. Manny Diaz, as much hate as he's received, it won't make everything all better. But a win against FSU in his first season as head coach, no doubt would be huge. So you guys know what to do. Leave your score predictions down below. And please bring your trash talk. FSU fans, Miami fans, go at it. This is rivalry week. This is like Christmas for FSU and Miami fans. It comes one time a year. Enjoy it. Remember though, guys, we are all one big happy college football family, but at the end of the day, I gotta say, it's always better when you get to rep the U. Coach Coop, peace out.